Right, joining me tonight is the man that led Chelsea to Champions League glory, Roberto Di Matteo, and the man that captained Blackburn to the Premier League title, Tim Sherwood. Welcome along to you both. Well, look, let's start with the title race that got blown wide open on Wednesday night.
Santiago Bueno spots Hugo Bueno, and Bueno curls one! Oh, that's a fantastic goal! Mane urged to cross, does cross, Gabriel gets in front of his goalkeeper, and it's in! What an incredible finale! They've lost a 2-0 lead here, Arsenal!
It's time for us to reflect on the last few performances, just fix the issues immediately so we can get back to winning games.
I was very bullish about Arsenal winning the league. That's half scared me tonight.
We feel really frustrated with ourselves. You have the perfect game against the Spurs away to go and show how much we want it and how good we are. That's it. That's what we have to do, talk on the pitch.
Yeah, the disappointment was palpable there, wasn't it, really? Roberto, I want to start with you. You know, what was that performance down to, do you feel? Was it like a lack of leaders on the pitch? What do you think?
No, I mean, I think they went 2-0 up, so I thought that they probably thought that they were comfortable in the game and they could just control the game. But, you know, the Premier League doesn't allow you to do that. And it shows, again, you know, the unpredictability of the Premier League, you know, top against bottom. It's never a given result. And that's the beauty also of this league, you know, that anywhere you go, you need to earn the right to win the game.
Yeah, it was disappointing, wasn't it? You know, they have already dropped 21 points from winning positions this season. That's remarkable, really, isn't it, in itself, that statistic? Do you think it's kind of a mentality issue? You know, Mikel Arteta's always sort of being very positive, isn't he? But do you think there's a mentality issue within his squad?
100%.
Really?
And it's natural.
Yeah.
It's natural. You know, they've chased it to come up short on 3 occasions. Everyone's saying at the beginning of the season they went on a fantastic run that this is the year because they've addressed all their problems in the squad. They've got the best squad in the league without a shadow of a doubt. But the pressure comes now. You know, they start listening to the noise. You know, can they get over the line? Are they going to come up short again like they've done in 3 previous seasons? So I felt like it was a 2-goal lead, you know, against one of the worst teams we've ever seen in Premier League history. Not too much respect there for Wolves, but there shouldn't be. I mean, they've got 10 points now after that draw. Robbie's right. You know, in the Premier League, no one gives up. You know, some of these Wolves players might be playing for their futures. Perhaps a few of them think they should be in the Premier League next year. It won't be with Wolves. But they're making their poor decisions. Raya hardly makes an error, does he? He's come out there, that ball is on Gabriel's head. He just needs to let him head it away. But they're making rash decisions, and that comes with pressure. But it's natural to feel the pressure. You just need to find a way to get over the line. I've said it time and time again. If they don't get over the line this time, it's going to be very difficult for them to be able to do it. It gets harder and harder. But if they do get over the line, they've ticked that box and they will go on and they'll be a force to reckon with for many years to come.
Those pictures there tell the story, don't they? The fact that they're getting frustrated within each other. That's really important that doesn't seep into it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they were very disappointed about the results. Obviously, they were looking to get the 3 points, you know, at Wolves, and so the result was not what they were expecting. And there is frustration there. There's probably a little bit of anger as well. But you know, they just need to stick together. And there's more games. I mean, there's 11 games for them now to play, and they're still at the top of the league. So, you know, focus on the positives and try to just move on as quickly as you can, because you know you can't change the past. So you know, thinking about you need to address the errors and the mistakes and so on. But I you know, me and Tim, we've been there, and you need to get over the line. The first time you need to get over the line. Once you get over the line, you just feel much more relaxed in playing those games and know that you can do it. And then you have the confidence to seek those games out, to win those games that you need to win. And they haven't done it yet. It might be the year, who knows? I mean, it's very fascinating, interesting sitting on this couch and watching the league, but it needs to be done.
Yeah, they've got to do it. And in terms of Mikel Arteta as well, personally, it feels like he's got to do it. He hasn't won a trophy, in five full seasons at Arsenal. Do you think this is his kind of biggest test yet?
Well, everyone expects this year, but he has progressed the club. from when he took over, and I think everyone looks for progression, and I think they have done that. They have been very, very competitive, but he will know more than anyone that it's all about trophies. And certainly when you've spent a lot of money and you're a huge football club like Arsenal. The last thing they want to do is win nothing this year. And Tottenham could then say to them, look, we won a trophy last year and you never, and don't let that happen again. Am I trying to stir the pot here a little bit?
I think you are a little
big
bit.
North London derby. But it's the facts. It is the facts. Look, he's taking him in the right direction. Of course he has. I think he's a fantastic manager. Seems to have a nice, calm head. I saw Saka's interview after, a little bit disturbing. I know Merce mentioned it. I've been in that position, I can only talk, the manager used to say to us, when we go out there, we've still got a 4-point lead. You would talk to them press and you put a positive spin on it. If someone was to give us this at the beginning of the season, we would have ripped your hands off for it. So don't be down, because that sends negative messages to your fans and breeds anxiety the next time you take the field. I heard Mikel say it's a fantastic opportunity. It's a North London derby. It is the biggest game. For these two clubs, this is the biggest football, certainly for me. I know I'm biased when I'm from North London, but this is the biggest game of football there is. But it's also a fantastic opportunity for Tottenham as well. They need their points for their own sake. And if I was in that Tottenham dressing room, with Igor Tudor or a player, I'd be like, yes, come on. They're getting nervy, they're getting edgy. Let's take it deep into this game. We'll get something out of this. Forget what happened in the previous fixture. There was a footballing lesson what Arsenal would give Tottenham. But now's the chance. It all starts here. These are the 12 cup finals, what he's talking about, and it starts with the biggest one. So there's a great opportunity for both clubs. So I'm not sure if it's a great game for Tottenham. And I'm not sure if it's a great game for Arsenal. I think it's a great game.
Yeah, it will be a great game, that's for sure. I mean, way to start for Igor Tudor. We'll talk about that in just a moment. In terms of Arsenal, former players have waded in as well. Does that not help matters? But Patrick Vieira is saying it's now or never. Do you feel it is now or never for them?
Well, they've knocked on the door for, this is the third season, I think. They've knocked on the door, and they've been a little bit unfortunate as well in the past, where, you had a Man City team that really put on a show in the last third of the season. So it's difficult to say whether it's now or never. Certainly, they have a big chance, a big opportunity this year. They addressed a lot of the issues in the summer, the transfer window. I think the squad is much bigger, it's much stronger, and you can see that for sure. And also, I really enjoyed the football they play. I agree. I like Arteta as a manager. It's hard to win, It's hard to win the Premier League. It's hard to win trophies, but they have all the tools to do it. Sunday is going to be a huge game. It's going to be, the atmosphere is going to be electric, and maybe it is the right game for them. Who knows? They're certainly going to be motivated and pumped up to do well in this North London derby. On the other hand, you have obviously a team with a new manager, so all the players will want to impress the new manager, and also the league table is not looking too good for Spurs. So
I haven't looked at it recently.
So there's a recipe for a fantastic game of football for Sunday, but. Who knows? I was back in the studio here before Christmas, and Arsenal had, a 9-point lead over City, and I said, don't count City out yet. Yeah. It's not over yet. City, they have quality, and they have a big and a good squad as well, and they know how to do it, and they've shown it in the past.
Yeah, they certainly have. It's interesting because, of course, they've got them in the final, haven't they, of the Carabao Cup as well. Tim, what's that going to do to them in terms of this title race? They've got to play City in that final. Do you think that could have ramifications on this title
Possibly.
race?
You get the confidence to beating them. They're going to have to play them in the league. It looks like it's going to be a pivotal game. When you look at the fixtures coming up, there's no guarantees, but you try and pick the games where they're going to drop points there, and maybe that one. There'll be twists and turns throughout this Premier League campaign. I think that Carabao Cup final on the 22nd of March, I think is a huge game of football. I think for the confidence especially, it's nothing for Man City. They can win another trophy. But for Arsenal, it's another one to the one they have under Arteta. So it's bigger for Arsenal. And I think the confidence that would give Arsenal going into the game, I know it's a different competition, it's going to be at the Etihad in the league. It's all to play for. It's a very difficult one to call. But like I say, I don't think this is won and lost on next 2 weeks. I think there's going to be twists and turns all the way to the end, because nerves only really come. We've been there on the title. It's 4 or 5 games before the end, really. It looks like they're coming in a little bit early, which is unnerving for the Arsenal fans to see of their team, because let's face it, if they played Wolves at the beginning of the season, there's only one outcome to that game. Only one outcome. It was only because of nerves,
So
especially with a 2-goal lead. Yes, and it's like I say, it's natural. It's natural. People, and the more we're talking about it, the more they're listening. You know, they got to try as best they can to block the noise out. Kenny Dalglish used to say to us when we was in the title race, you go out and you bliss teams. You go out on a front foot and you get 2s and 3s ahead, because the anxiety of later on in games will breed, and you can do without it. Week after week after week, you can do without the anxiety. So there's some games you can win, you can blow teams away. They had an opportunity to blow Wolves away. You know, they were 2-0 up, they should have continued on the front foot. To have everyone behind the ball, I don't see the merit in that. They have to keep someone up front, they have to keep a 10 up there, maybe then the wide player on the opposite side. Give them something to think about so you can break quicker, because they were coming at them, like they weren't creating too many chances. They had 2 opportunities in the whole game. And the Dozy, we have to give the kid a mention. What a finish that was, you know.
Yes.
But it falls to him. His eyes must have lit up. It was easy for him to blast that one over the ball. He keeps control of it and smashes it into the back of the net. And it gives them a fantastic point. They're trying for Rob Edwards. I mean, Merce talks about it during the game. It's about timings of when you catch teams. And that will play a part as well, because there's a lot of teams in Europe and they might have something else to play for if they're safe in the Premier League or they're not chasing Champions League football. It's like Aston Villa, if you play them towards the end of the season, you know, and they've already qualified for the Champions League or Europa League, that manager, Unai Emery, will want to win the Europa League, and he will be resting players in the Premier League to be able to achieve that. So it all comes into play.
You make some very good points. Right, Igor Tudor is gearing up for his first game in charge of Spurs then, and it doesn't come much bigger than the North London derby. Live for you on Sky Sports. Our reporter Natalie Gedra sat down with the new Spurs boss, who claims 12 cup finals lie ahead for him and his players.
How's it been these first few days working here at Spurs, and especially what do you feel you've learned about this group of players in these first few days?
No, it was interesting. It was, first of all, very big concentration, because the moment is not good, so we should start in the right way to start very fast resolving the problems. So for sure, that's the first sensation, is that I find the players on this position, you know, to react, to trying to do something different. They did until now, of course. Otherwise, I will not be here. So first sensation are good.
Spurs, they have been struggling a little bit this season in terms of creativity. I know you like to play offensive football, and the fans really like offensive football here at this club. Yeah. Where do you see creativity coming from this group of players that you have available? Because you have creative players who are obviously not available.
Yes. No, there are. Now in this moment, what I said before, need to choose what is the best suit for the players available in this moment. So it's totally different thing that you start the season with 20 and then you can see, you know, you can choose even 2-3 things to play now. Now there is no time. It's like a final every game, and we need to prepare every game in this way. So it's okay. It's a challenge. It's not the best thing for one coach, for one team, but how is it?
How do you see this team creating more chances?
I believe that when we attack, we need to attack with all players. That means that everybody will go in the box, but for one coach, for one team, but how is it?
How do you see this team creating more chances?
I believe that when we attack, we need to attack with all players. That means that everybody will go in the box, but as a participation of attacking phase is always about all players, it's also like a defending. Football don't exist that you don't defend with 11 but also I believe when we attack we need to have enough players to participate, you know, to have to find the right balance, you know, in both directions. It's not about find a balance only on defending, but also how you want to attack.
And Arsenal dropping points, obviously midweek, created an even bigger expectation around this game. How do you think this can play out in the match, the fact that they come under more pressure than they were before?
I don't believe it will be affecting in some other ways already, the tension of this kind of game is already big, so nothing, I don't believe it will change with that. Something, each game is it's a separate, so let's see on Sunday.
Yeah, well, Spurs will be hoping that Tudor has a positive impact as he's done during his work in Italy. In all his jobs when he's taken charge mid-season, Tudor's improved the club's points per game ratio. At both Udinese and Hellas Verona, Tudor saved them from relegation. And remarkably, at Hellas Verona, he took over in September when they didn't have a single point and led them to a top half finish. So, Roberto, you know a little bit about him, don't you, I think, in terms of his time in Italy. He's got a bit of a reputation as a bit of a firefighter, is that right?
Yeah, I think the numbers just confirm that. He can certainly have an impact when he goes in as or mid-season and can motivate the players. But it's a difficult situation here at Tottenham. I think everybody's surprised to see the club in that position. And also, it's a weakened team because they have so many injuries.
Yeah.
And as much as people talk about the fact that, it shouldn't be an excuse, but I mean, I can say it. I mean, it's not the same as if you have all the players available. If you have major or big players that are not available, they can make a huge difference in your team. So certainly there is let's say a little bit of an excuse that there are so many injuries. But I think the club probably looked at that table and those numbers and was one of the criteria why they appointed him, because he changes the progression of a team immediately, and I think they need something like that for sure. And he speaks very good English as well.
He does, doesn't he? That's good. He'll need that as well. In terms of what the differences are, can you explain what the difference is coming from Serie A to the Premier League and how that might affect him?
Football is a global, you speak a global language. Maybe probably the Premier League has more of a high intensity game or football, but apart from that, what you do in Italy, France, or Spain, or Germany, in terms of preparation of the team and watching the opposition is pretty much similar. He might not know much about the opposition, but the Premier League is watched all over the world, so I'm sure that he knows very much. Not as much maybe as somebody that was involved, but he will know a lot about that. But ultimately, there isn't much difference. I mean, most of the foreign coaches that come to the Premier League, they've had no previous experience in the Premier League, so, and we could name so many examples. So I don't think that's a negative aspect of appointing him. So he has a tough job on his hand.
Did it surprise you when you come as a player, the speed of the Premier League, or what differences was?
It did take me a little while, even though I adapted quite quickly. But some of the foreign players that come over, they need a bit of time. But it's not so much a little bit the speed of the football, but it's the general environment. It's a new culture, new language, new environment, new teammates. So I think there are so many different variables when you move to a new country, a new club. It's not just that, but certainly we know that the Premier League, the pace of the Premier League is faster, is quicker, and also, the ref, they let the game flow more than in Europe. But as a coach, you can adapt to that very quickly.
Yeah. Did it surprise you that they didn't go for somebody with more Premier League experience, do you think?
Did it surprise me? No, it didn't surprise me.
Okay.
No. I'm not sure actually who's made the decision there, but I hope it's a good one. No one wants to see, certainly from this side, don't want to see any Tottenham in the Championship.
What are you trying to say?
No, I heard what you said earlier to me about Tottenham. But
no, I did not say anything.
I'm joking. But I hope he's a good man. I mean, he looks the part, doesn't he?
Yeah,
I mean,
he does,
you don't want to mess him around. I mean, he looks like a real threat, doesn't he? I mean, but
it's a different look to managers right now. I think they're all morphing into one.
No, he's...
anyway, that's just me.
And look, he's a firefighter. Who doesn't like a fireman?
That's true. That's very true. What will he be focusing on? I mean, he's only, had a week with them or so. What do you do? You've got to hit the ground running. I mean, you've done that before yourself. So what do you do with the players in a week?
What do you do? I mean, he has a limited amount of players to choose from. So on one hand, the team is almost given. I'm not sure it's going to change too much, because we said before the program that he normally plays with a back three.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure it's going to change so much because he hasn't got time to tactically work with the team. So he's probably going to leave the team as much as possible the same. He just has to galvanize them, motivate them. Obviously tidy up a little bit the organisation, maybe the defensive organisation. Also, he was talking about the offensive organisation, and try to have little steps, day by day, improve, a little bit on this, a little bit on that, and try to get points. At now it's just about getting points on board.
Exactly. What he has to do is the non-negotiables. They have to be there. The tackling, the running hard. He's talked about running, distances covered. Not that guarantees you anything. And to create chances, need to score goals. But they've dipped off. We've seen them have half a game. Against Villa, they looked good in the second half. Against Man City, looked good. It's got a 90-minute game. They need to, the unnegotiables have to be guarantees for now to the end of the season. He's got 12 cup finals, and they have to go out with a correct attitude to want to run and try their best for the badge. This team cannot be in the Championship. I don't believe it will. I think he needs to win 3 football matches. I think he's got the